Welcome back to Colne FC. This time round, we were playing in the North West Counties League Premier Division. So again, we have got some quite local teams to us. We've got Padiham, we've got Longridge Town, we've got Barnoldswick Town. So the media are currently predicting that we're going to finish in ninth. We've got a 33 to 1 chance of being promoted. Now, currently, we haven't made any new signings, but it is something I'm actively looking at. What is that money situation like? This time round, we've got £14,182. We've got no transfer budget. We've got 20,000 in the scouting budget, and we've got £725 a week for the wage budget. So what we do have is we do have a little bit of breathing room. But what this will mean in terms of who we can get and how much we can pay for them, who knows? Got an expenditure of 1,470. I'm not too bothered about that. This is because the season hasn't yet begun. Looking at the squad and where we are currently, you'll notice that there are a lot of players in on trial. Now, this is exactly as I said before. We need to get as many in and as many through the door to see what we might be looking at and if any of these are good enough. Looking at most of these so far, however, it doesn't look like there are actually many that are actually any good. So rather than boring you back and forth with trials, non-trials, and we'll see who we can get in and if we can improve the squad. Now, one thing that we do need to look at is what the season expectations are going to look like for this time round. So, do we think we're going to finish in the top half? I would like to say so, yes. In terms of the FA Cup, where do we think we're going to get in this? And then where do we think we're going to be for the Isuzu FA Vars and the Macron Cup? The FA Cup, even if we did reach the preliminary round, it gives us an extra £10 on our budget. The FA Vars and the Macron Cup, we don't again have an option, so we'll have to accept where we are. So I'm just joining into the first FA Cup preliminary round. Colne versus Wroxham. Out wide to Edwards-John, needs someone in the middle. We're going to score. 1-0. Excellent. Cairo Edwards-John with Dave with the assist. He might get tested here looking at this as well. Keeper should be claiming that all day long, and he does. A little bit elaborate with the dive. That'll put us to half time. Pass completion, 73%. The match momentum, we've had a strong spell, but actually it's mostly been Wroxham. When you look at the shots and shots on target, you would actually think possibly the opposite. So we are happy with the shots on target, so we're just going to keep it up there. Might want to look at possibly now changing the... let's see what we've got available. Now, I did put Shorrocks on the team, just because although he's injured, we could potentially use him for a very short spell if needed. We might have to just see how long Senior can go before we actually play him. Now, the downside of that is if he does actually get fully injured, we could be a little bit stuck. So let's just try the second half. Let's see where we get to. But there are a lot of yellow cards. Win. It looks like it might be 1-on-1 here. That was lucky. Silva absolutely left out on the wide. Moore comes across, Keeler heads it away. Twin's going to collect it, I think. Oh, maybe not. He gets it, only clears as far as Dover does. He's going to put the ball back in. This is going to be a goal, I think. Yep, just as I thought. Okay, so we're going to make some changes now then. This is what we absolutely cannot keep affording to do. Long balls over the top, and we're getting absolutely hammered from it. Godsworth's not getting picked up again. He's going to cross this in. I'll put it into the middle, tap in. Just got away with that one as well. Bosner picks it up. Over to Day. There's the ball over the top to Day. Does Day get it? No, he doesn't. Self gets the ball. Day heads it. Wide. Okay, so whereabouts are we? Well, after our pre-season, it didn't look too good. We managed a grand total of 3 out of 9 games that we managed to win. 2 of those games were close. One of them we absolutely battered the opposition. But that's what I'd expect considering that they are now actually in the league below us, and it's who we played last season. When we start looking at the actual league and the cup, things look much better. So we've currently played 7 games. We've won 6 and we've drawn 1. Now, these aren't exactly free scoring as they were in the previous league. Now, I'd imagine that would be the case because it's likely a lot of our players are just about where they should be. Preliminary round and then the qualifying rounds. Now, we actually won 1-0 away against Bootle in the FA Cup preliminary. We beat Wroxham 4-2 at home in the extra preliminary. And from that, we've started to get a tiny little bit of money in. But when we play Hainer, I would like to think we're going to get a little bit more cash again into the club. So talking of finances then, where actually are we? You can see from the income and the expenditure that we're actually getting a positive balance from that alone, which is very good. Now, when you look at the budgets and what we've got left, we've got no transfer budget. The wage budget, we've got very little left as we're spending £1,400 a week. Scouting, we've spent 6,500. We've got 7,000 left. Now, if we want to have a look now at the recruitment and our transfer history to see what we've actually had in, we've had 13 players in. Now, we started off with Brad Rose from Radcliffe. Now, Brad was just another keeper to get us so we had a little bit more depth for a goalkeeper position because we were very light last season. He's 22. He still has a chance to improve somewhat. We've had Adam Sudworth, who was a free agent, who's already played 5 games for us, has scored a goal, and he's been player of the match once. And his actual rating has been 7.2 out of those games. And when we look at him, again, he's got some decent potential, albeit the stats look like they're actually on the slight decline. We look at Sam Carr from Newcastle University. He's appeared twice. He's got a 6.9 rating. And Sam is another centre-back just to give an extra bit of depth. If we look at Dieter Schwarm, he's appeared twice. He's assisted once. He's got a 6.83 rating. And he plays in the midfield, but he's only 17. What we need to try and do there is keep hold of him and try and improve him by giving him some game time where we can. Now, his current ability is slightly less than most of our team, but his potential's pretty darn good. We've got Jackson Shorrocks, who's made 3 appearances and 2 of those from the bench too. He's also assisted once and has got a 7.06 rating. Now, Jackson also again can play most places through the centre, and his current ability is one of the better in our squad, with the potential even looking like it could be a 5-star. And then we've got Leon Burke, who's appeared 5 times. He's scored 4 goals for us. He's assisted once. He's been player of the match. He's got a 7.06 rating too. Now, Leon is an attacking midfielder by trade, and I have played him up front a few times, hence why he's getting some goals. He's got a 2.5-star ability with a potential again of 5 stars. And being 19, it's something that we can actually try and develop. We've got William Etheridge, who's appeared 5 times. Again's got a 7 rating. He's had 2 assists and he's also picked up a yellow card. William is 18 years old. He plays in a midfield or attacking midfielder. He's got a 3.5-star ability again, which is very good for where we are, and a potential of 5. Now, being 18, again, this is someone that we can develop. Then we've got Connor Day, who's appeared 7 times for us. He's scored 2 goals. He's assisted 2. He's been player of the match. He's also had a 7 rating. Now, Connor Day again can also play in the centre. He's a 4-star and has got a 5-star potential. And again, being 18, you can clearly see why we'd consider him as being one of the star players. Then we've got Lewis Bonser. 5 appearances, 2 from the bench, 2 goals, an assist, a player of the match. He's picked up a yellow and he's got a 694 rating. Now, Lewis can play mostly in any positions down the left-hand wing, and he's currently a 3-star with a 5-star potential. He is currently unhappy, mainly due to the signing that we made in Josh Bickerton. But because Lewis can play on any of the left-hand side, he's definitely going to be a player we want to try and keep hold of. And then we've got Connor Edwards, who I'm pretty sure you can see from looking at that, we would absolutely consider him to be the star player for the goalkeeping position. He's a 4-star with a potential 5 at 18 years old. Now, when we look at Connor Edwards, his actual career, he's actually been at Burnley, and then we thought we'd better sign him. He's going to be someone, again, that we want to try and keep. Then we've got Josh Bickerton. Now, we spoke about Josh Bickerton when we looked at Louis Bonsa, and Josh has played 3 times, but he's a 4-star potential 5-star. Now, he's 20 years old, so you've got to see why he'd be an important player. Now, Louis played in his career just for us, and he's been at Stoke in the Championship for 4 seasons, and unfortunately hasn't actually played a game for them. And then we come to Rice Bowen. Now, he's our out-and-out striker. You can see why he'd be a 5-star, and most of the roles that he can play when you look down the right-hand side, other than a false 9, is very, very good in terms of his ability. Now, his out-of-possession ability is also very good too. And it looks like he's actually played in the centre mid position maybe once or twice. Then when we look at where he's been, he's actually come from Wolves. Now, he hasn't actually played for them, but you can see where the pedigrees come from. And for the leagues that we're in, you can definitely see why we want him. So there's good things to come from this man. Now, are we looking to get anybody else? No, but there are obviously potential that we could lose players left, right, centre. Now, Ellis Johnson, Roman Keeler, and Benjamin Alexander are the ones currently discussing contracts with other clubs. Keeler would be unfortunate if we do actually lose him, because again, Keeler is one of our better players with a 4-star, 5-star potential. And to say he played 30 times for us last season and scored 3, is a very good player. So let's have a look then at what this game's going to be like in the Emirates FA Cup against Hainaut Town. So I've just done the team talk. We're actually going to look at this game and see what we can do. I would like to think that we'd be getting some results here. However, the longer that the cup goes on, the more likely it is we're actually going to start to get beat. Bickerton over to Johnson. Johnson to the Sudworth. This is the right kind of play. Now we're on the wings. But we're going to drive now. Through ball for Day. Passes over. Passes it in. Excellent goal. Rice Bowen, our new star man, with the goal assisted by Connor Day. Into the middle. That should never have been allowed to happen. Donnie Lawrence with the goal, assisted by Nathan Banton. 1-1 then, 15 minutes in. Free kick here in a threatening position. Gordon's to take it. To 1 Hainer. Donnie Lawrence with Danny Gordon with the assist. So, half-time, and we're trailing 2-1. Possession, we're still ahead on possession. The expected goals, we should actually be winning this. And then when you look at the match momentum, we shouldn't actually be that far down. That's just an example of the expected goals. So, let's address the team. So again, when we say favourites or not, I'm going to encourage the team. Nice delicate pass there to get it squared up by Leon Burke. Is it onside? It absolutely is. Well worked in some tight areas there between Burke and Bowen. Bowen just seeing the run, just threads it through. For Burke just to put it down the keeper's near post. 80 minutes in. Dingy collects the ball after getting passed through. Burke's on the ball. Bowen's made a run on the last man. Bowen picks the ball up. Is he going to score? Of course he is. Rice Bowen, our new man, and Leon Burke with the assist. On now up 3-2. And then the next corner obviously comes to nothing. We're 88 minutes in now. 5 minutes added. The couple to play. Let's hope this is the last action of the game. Edwards John with the ball, plays it through to Day. Edwards John just holding off his man. Plays it through to Shorrocks. Shorrocks forward to Edwards John, back to Day. Through to Edwards John. Is he going to score? Very unlucky. Very unlucky. Game over and Colne win 3-2 against Hainault. And then from that, when we've won, we actually managed to get another £2,250, which is now taking our balance up to 37.5. What we're going to do is we're absolutely going to praise Bowen, because considering that's his second game for us and he scored 2 and assisted 1, I'm not surprised his rating after that was actually 9. And it looks like in the next round of the qualifying round, we have Hepburn Town. And Hepburn Town are playing in the Northern Premier League Premier Division. So let's have a look at where the actual league finished for our second season. So after 46 games, we won 31, we drew 9, and we lost 6. We've actually scored over 100 goals, and we've actually conceded quite a few. We did finish on 102 points. Now you can see from the form indicator, it wasn't all going our way towards the end of the season. Whereas Wythenshawe actually had a very strong finish to their season. Now, they didn't actually end up being promoted at the end of it. So through the playoffs, they didn't get promotion. It was actually Northwich Victoria who came across. And Northwich Victoria played Trafford and they beat them 3-0 before playing Atherton Collieries at home, and Northwich won 2-0, which sealed their promotion. We were looking a bit more forensically at some of our games. As we've already discussed, the friendlies didn't exactly go well towards the start of the season. We picked up a decent set of form in August. September was slightly more rocky, with 2 draws, a loss. The rest were wins. October, very strong indeed, although a close call when it came to the Isuzu FA Vars first round, winning on penalty. 1 draw there, we didn't lose over. And we didn't actually lose throughout most of November, actually losing against Atherton Collieries 4-2. December was slightly more rocky again, with 2 draws and a loss. Before turning to January, again we've had a very close call in the FA Vars 4th round, winning 1-1 away against Barton. February was not bad at all, with just 1 loss in the whole month, winning again in the 5th round of the Isuzu Vars, and then actually the quarter-final too. March, fewer games we played, we won 4, we drew 1, we lost 1. This is now where the semi-finals started to creep in. The Macron Cup semi-final, we won 2-1 against Longridge. We won 4-1 away against Kempston in this semi-final first leg. And actually then straight after that, in the second leg, we actually only managed a 2-2 draw at home. We did lose 5-3 against City of Liverpool before turning to May, where the cup finals were. Now, we played Trafford in the Macron Cup final, winning 5-1. Very strong performance indeed. And then when we look at the FA Vars final, we actually won 4-2 at a neutral ground. And as you can see up from there, it was actually in Wembley, with a grand total of 3,200 people for the country's national stadium. And it was going plain sailing, at least for the first half, where we went 2-0 up, courtesy of Sam Carr and Louis Bonsa. Wythenshawe then came back 2-2 before Respawn and Leon Burke put the final 2 goals in the space of 10 minutes to cement the victory. Where did we end up in terms of finances? Well, we actually finished with an overall balance of £287,000. Now you can see the sort of upward trajectory that we've had there. And most of that is from the cup competitions, which are the things that can absolutely make or break a club, depending on the performances. You can see we've had an income of this month, at least, of 51,013 that we've spent. And when we drill into that a little bit more, had 14,000 gate receipts, we had about 4,000, better part of 5, match day income. Then what we can say from it, that we actually had a lot of our money through the cups. Now, we didn't do too bad in regards to the FA, because if we follow this round, we did well in the preliminaries against Wroxham, Bootle, Hainault, Hepburn Town, Morpeth Town, Hartlepool United, Bromley, before getting beat against the big boys of Bradford City. Now you can see it was pretty one-sided affair when you look at the goals, being beat 4-1 in that game. You can see the actual difference in quality of players. Now, we didn't really have a lot of the ball. We had a decent amount of shots. We pretty much scored what we were expected to. Bradford actually doing better than what was expected. We've actually run more than them, but the ratings and the quality of the players just isn't there to compete with a team that's in the Football League at this stage. So overall, not a bad season. So we'll see where we get to this next time round when we end up playing in a regional first division league, not too far away now to the football leagues, and that's where it'll become interesting. This is Ben Unlocked. If you like what you see, comment below, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.